Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
To lag or linger behind. Go after with the intent to catch. Move, proceed, or walk draggingly or slowly. John trailed behind his classmates. Drag loosely along a surface. Allow to sweep the ground. The toddler was trailing his pants. Evidence pointing to a possible solution. The trail led straight to the perpetrator. A path or track roughly blazed through wild or hilly country. A track or mark left by something that has passed. There is a trail of blood. Hang down so as to drag along the ground. The bride's veiled trailed along the ground. Proceed for an extended period of time. The speech dragged on for 2 hours. To lag or linger behind. But in so many other areas we still are dragging. Suck in or take air. Force into some kind of situation, condition, or course of action. Don't drag me into this business. Draw slowly or heavily. Walk without lifting the feet. A slow inhalation, as of tobacco smoke. He took a drag on his cigarette and expelled the smoke slowly. Search, as the bottom of a body of water, for something valuable or lost. The phenomenon of resistance to motion through a fluid. Clothing that is conventionally worn by the opposite sex, especially women's clothing when worn by a man. He went to the party dressed in drag. Move slowly and as if with great effort. Persuade to come away from something attractive or interesting. He dragged me away from the television set. Pull, as against a resistance. He dragged the big suitcase behind him. Something tedious and boring. Peeling potatoes as a drag. Something that slows or delays progress. Taxation as a drag on the economy. The act of dragging, pulling with force. The drag up the hill exhausted him. Use a computer mouse to move icons on the screen and select commands from a menu. Drag this icon to the lower right-hand corner of the screen. To lag or linger behind. Take position in the rear, as in a military formation or in the line of scrimmage in football. To lag or linger behind. To lag or linger behind. To lag or linger behind. Cut a furrow into a columns. Go after with the intent to catch. The policeman chased the mugger down the alley. United States politician and jurist who served as Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, 1808 to 1873. Pursue someone sexually or romantically. The act of pursuing in an effort to overtake or capture. A rectangular metal frame used in letterpress printing to hold together the pages or columns of composed type that are printed at one time. Cut a groove into. Chase silver. Go after with the intent to catch. Pursue someone sexually or romantically. A smooth textured sausage of minced beef or pork, usually smoked, often served on a bread roll. Go after with the intent to catch. The dog chased the rabbit. A hinged catch that fits into a notch of a ratchet to move a wheel forward or prevent it from moving backward. Someone who is morally reprehensible. You dirty dog. A dull, unattractive, unpleasant girl or woman. She's a real dog. A member of the genus Canis, probably descended from the common wolf, that has been domesticated by man since prehistoric times, occurs in many breeds. The dog barked all night. Metal supports for logs in a fireplace. Informal term for a man. You lucky dog. Go after with the intent to catch. Go after with the intent to catch. Go in search of or hunt for. A label written or printed on paper, cardboard, or plastic that is attached to something to indicate its owner, nature, price, etc. Go after with the intent to catch. A small piece of cloth or paper. Attach a tag or label to. A game in which one child chases the others. The one who is caught becomes the next chaser. A label associated with something for the purpose of identification. Semantic tags were attached in order to identify different meanings of the word. Provide with a name or nickname. Sports. The act of touching a player in a game, which changes their status in the game. Supply, blank verse or prose, with rhymes. Touch a player while he is holding the ball. A spy employed to follow someone and report their movements. The rear part of a ship. Go after with the intent to catch. Any projection that resembles the tail of an animal. The fleshy part of the human body that you sit on. The rear part of an aircraft. Remove or shorten the tail of an animal. The time of the last part of something. The tail of the storm. Remove the stalk of fruits or berries. The posterior part of the body of a vertebrate, especially when elongated and extending beyond the trunk or main part of the body. Usually plural, the reverse side of a coin that does not bear the representation of a person's head. Any road or path affording passage, especially a rough one. Computer science. One of the circular magnetic paths on a magnetic disk that serve as a guide for writing and reading data. Travel across or pass over. Go after with the intent to catch. The act of participating in an athletic competition involving running on a track. An endless metal belt on which tracked vehicles move over the ground. A course over which races are run. Evidence pointing to a possible solution. A distinct selection of music from a recording or a compact disc. The title track of the album. A line or route along which something travels or moves. The track of an animal. A bar or pair of parallel bars of rolled steel making the railway along which railroad cars or other vehicles can roll. A groove on a phonograph recording. A pair of parallel rails providing a runway for wheels. Carry on the feet and deposit. Track mud into the house. Make tracks upon. Observe or plot the moving path of something. Track a missile. Small crude shelter used as a dwelling. Move, proceed, or walk draggingly or slowly. Make one's home in a particular place or community. Teach and supervise, someone, act as a trainer or coach, 2, as in sports. He is training our Olympic team. Create by training and teaching. The old master is training world-class violinists. Teach or refine to be discriminative in taste or judgment. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Is this dog trained? A sequentially ordered set of things or events or ideas in which each successive member is related to the preceding. Train of mourners. Wheelwork consisting of a connected set of rotating gears by which force is transmitted or motion or torque is changed. The fool got his tie caught in the gear train. Drag loosely along a surface. Allow to sweep the ground. She trained her long scarf behind her. Undergo training or instruction in preparation for a particular role, function, or profession. She is training to be a teacher. Travel by rail or train. She trained to Hamburg. Public transport provided by a line of railway cars coupled together and drawn by a locomotive. Express trains don't stop at Princeton Junction. Educate for a future role or function. They trained him to be a warrior. A procession of wagons or mules or camels, traveling together in single file. They joined the wagon train for safety. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. He trained his gun on the burglar. A series of consequences wrought by an event. It led to a train of disasters. Cause to grow in a certain way by tying and pruning it. Train the vine. Exercise in order to prepare for an event or competition. She is training for the Olympics. Piece of cloth forming the long back section of a gown that is drawn along the floor. The bride's train was carried by her 2 young nephews. Be in charge of. The introductory section of a story. It was an amusing lead-in to a very serious matter. Take somebody somewhere. We lead him to our chief. Produce as a result or residue. Be conducive to. The use of computers in the classroom lead to better writing. Lead, as in the performance of a composition. A jumper that consists of a short piece of wire. It was a tangle of jumper cables and clip leads. A news story of major importance. Travel in front of. Go in advance of others. Lead, extend, or afford access. Move ahead of others, in time or space. Preside over. A soft, heavy, toxic, malleable metallic element. Bluish-white when freshly cut but tarnishes readily to dull gray. The children were playing with lead soldiers. Cause something to pass or lead somewhere. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. Be ahead of others. Be the first. An actor who plays a principal role. Evidence pointing to a possible solution. The police are following a promising lead. Thin strip of metal used to separate lines of type in printing. Restraint consisting of a rope, or light chain, used to restrain an animal. The timing of ignition relative to the position of the piston in an internal combustion engine. An indication of potential opportunity. A good lead for a job. Mixture of graphite with clay in different degrees of hardness. The marking substance in a pencil. An advantage held by a competitor in a race. He took the lead at the last turn. A position of being the initiator of something and an example that others will follow, especially in the phrase, take the lead. He takes the lead in any group. Baseball. The position taken by a base runner preparing to advance to the next base. He took a long lead off first. Cause to undertake a certain action. Sports. The score by which a team or individual is winning. Tend to or result in. This remark lead to further arguments among the guests. The angle between the direction a gun is aimed and the position of a moving target, correcting for the flight time of the missile. The playing of a card to start a trick in bridge. The lead was in the dummy. Have recourse to. Hang, back, or fall, behind, in movement, progress, development, etc. Go back to bad behavior. Retreat. Fall backwards and down. Move back and away from. Hang, back, or fall, behind, in movement, progress, development, etc. Retreat. Take one's time. Proceed slowly. Hang, back, or fall, behind, in movement, progress, development, etc. Waste time. Lock up or confine, in or as in a jail. Hang, back, or fall, behind, in movement, progress, development, etc. The time between one event, process, or period and another. The act of slowing down or falling behind. One of several thin slats of wood forming the sides of a barrel or bucket. Cover with lagging to prevent heat loss. Lag pipes. Throw or pitch at a mark, as with coins. Carry out or participate in an activity, be involved in. She pursued many activities. Follow in or as if in pursuit. The police car pursued the suspected attacker. Go in search of or hunt for. Pursue a hobby. Carry further or advance. Be later in time. Tuesday always follows Monday. Follow in or as if in pursuit. Her bad deed followed her and haunted her dreams all her life. Travel along a certain course. Follow the road. Keep informed. Follow, discover, or ascertain the course of development of something. We must follow closely the economic development is Cuba. Choose and follow, as of theories, ideas, policies, strategies or plans. She followed the feminist movement. Imitate in behavior. Take as a model. Teenagers follow their friends in everything. Keep to. Come as a logical consequence. Follow logically. It follows that your assertion is false. Follow with the eyes or the mind. She followed the men with the binoculars. Work in a specific place, with a specific subject, or in a specific function. Be the successor, of. Carter followed Ford. Come after in time, as a result. A terrible tsunami followed the earthquake. Act in accordance with someone's rules, commands, or wishes. Perform an accompaniment to. The orchestra could barely follow the frequent pitch changes of the soprano. To be the product or result. Behave in accordance or in agreement with. Keep under surveillance. The police had been following him for weeks, but they could not prove his involvement in the bombing. Accept and follow the leadership or command or guidance of. Let's follow our great helmsman. Adhere to or practice. These people still follow the laws of their ancient religion. Be next. Mary plays best, with John and Sue following. Grasp the meaning. Can you follow her argument? To bring something about at a later time than. She followed dinner with a brandy. To travel behind, go after, come after. The ducklings followed their mother around the pond. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. We traveled from Rome to Naples by bus. Travel upon or across. Travel the oceans. Undertake a journey or trip. A movement through space that changes the location of something. Self-propelled movement. Make a trip for pleasure. The act of going from one place to another. He enjoyed selling, but he hated the travel. Travel from place to place, as for the purpose of finding work, preaching, or acting as a judge. Undergo transportation as in a vehicle. We traveled north on Route 508. Follow a certain course. How did your interview go? Have a particular form. As the saying goes. Move away from a place into another direction. Perform as expected when applied. The washing machine won't go unless it's plugged in. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. How fast does your new car go? Be in the right place or situation. Let's put healthcare where it belongs, under the control of the government. A usually brief attempt. A board game for two players who place counters on a grid. The object is to surround and so capture the opponent's counters. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. Make a certain noise or sound. Lead, extend, or afford access. This door goes to the basement. Street names for methylenedioxymethamphetamine. Continue to live and avoid dying. Begin or set in motion. Ready, set, go. Stop operating or functioning. To be spent or finished. The money had gone after a few days. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. It's my go. Blend or harmonize. This sofa won't go with the chairs. Go through in search of something. Search through someone's belongings in an unauthorized way. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. Get going. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Can I go now? Give support to, or make a choice of, one out of a group or number. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. His knowledge doesn't go very far. Follow a procedure or take a course. We should go farther in this matter. Be the right size or shape. Fit correctly or as desired. Progress by being changed. The speech has to go through several more drafts. Be abolished or discarded. These ugly billboards have to go. Be or continue to be in a certain condition. Be ranked or compare. This violinist is as good as Juilliard-trained violinists go. Be spent. Functioning correctly and ready for action. All systems are go. Pass, fair, or elapse, of a certain state of affairs or action. How is it going? Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Your basis for belief or disbelief. Knowledge on which to base belief. A justification for something existing or happening. The enclosed land around a house or other building. A tract of land cleared for some special purposes, recreation or burial, etc. Dregs consisting of solid particles, especially of coffee, that form a residue. It is a Middle Eastern custom to read your future in your coffee grounds. Provide evidence for. Provide evidence for. Stand as proof of. Show by one's behavior, attitude, or external attributes. Give evidence. Your basis for belief or disbelief. knowledge on which to base belief. The evidence that smoking causes lung cancer is very compelling. An indication that makes something evident. His trembling was evidence of his fear. Law. All the means by which any alleged matter of fact whose truth is investigated at judicial trial is established or disproved. Any road or path affording passage, especially a rough one. Any road or path affording passage, especially a rough one.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.